Whatever happened to that Sajam guy? Never heard of him. What up, what up, what up, what up? I usually like taking vacations, and by that I mean I never do. And so like people, they asked me if I want to come with, and I figured it'd be a fun time. So I went and did a nice little vacation trip over to Japan. I have never been influenced harder than I have on this flight. Yeah, this is us staying at the hotel in Akihabara. On the flight, there was an extremely loud crying baby. An 11-hour flight with a really pissed baby on it is, yeah. I know there's only so much you can do about a baby crying, but also I feel like they didn't care. They just like the baby cried and the parents were like, whatever, that's everybody else's problem. They didn't like pick the baby up. They didn't, they weren't like moving around. They weren't trying anything. They just were like, hey, can you stop crying? That'd be great. 11 hours is impossible. I don't know that I could ever be convinced to take a baby on a flight for 11 hours. That seems so miserable, man. Everybody else in my group, like all 3 people, had noise canceling headphones and they were just vibing. I can sleep on a flight even without it, and I did. I didn't realize everybody else on the planet was just cheating because noise canceling headphones are broken. I bought some, and on the way back, I couldn't believe just how different the experience was. They were probably about $100 cheaper than buying them in the US, which is pretty cool. After that, I ran around Tokyo. I had a great time. There's a Capcom store in Shibuya Parkway, which is like a big mall. And one thing I found there, I have this shirt. I bought this. Usually don't even buy shirts of this color, but I can't believe they don't sell this online for people to pick up. This is super cool. Jury with the explosion and Lily on the bowl. And then also while I was there, this is the place in Shibuya. There's an ad for Street Fighter League. It's like, yo, you should go check out Street Fighter League. There's a bunch of this there. It's pretty big there, which is really funny because I see that like Dogra said, I would rather be playing Valorant than prepping for Street Fighter League or whatever, and then they beat his ass. Really funny because I think here, Street Fighter League is not held in the same regard as there, where obviously, I mean, they have promotional stuff there. They got this going on. These players, the Japanese players, are given salaries. Most people are pretty jealous of Street Fighter League Japan, where they all make way more money just for participating. And then also I did some shopping while I was there. They had this cool setup where there was a Gucci arcade. This picture looked really cool, but this arcade sucked. It had a bunch of make-believe, not real video games. This shit sucks. Classic. Gotta go combo while you're there. And then I went around, and this is like just in a store there. They sell snack boxes at Yodobashi there. I'm sure they're quite expensive because they're imported, and leverlesses in general, they're catching on there. But like, yeah, this is the Kitsune, which is the same price basically almost. These are slightly cheaper, I guess. So you can pick them up in the storefront, which is pretty cool. And then yeah, this was also there as well. They had like a Crazy Raccoon pre-built PC, which I thought was honestly really cool. And I did this. I did a coffee flight from Glitch, the coffee nerd place to go in Tokyo for a lot of people, I think. They give you these cool slips whenever you order your drinks, and they tell you about the notes. Even if you're not a coffee snob, I think it's fun to go just to like try it out and try some nicer coffee for the sake of being like, well, that did nothing for me and I don't care about it. Or, you can give it a spin and turns out you like it and it's a good time. The next thing we did after running around Tokyo was we went to Hakone. So I've never been to Hakone. I knew that it was famous for hot springs and then for it being very like scenic and pretty and nice and stuff like that. It's got a big recommendation for me as a place that you should check out there. Part of going to Hakone, which was really fun, was I got engaged. I'm sure a lot of you saw the pictures. Dude, this place is beautiful. You may notice there's a little boat in the background of this picture. And the pictures are really nice. They look really good and everybody's excited. And to give you some context about what it's like, this place is a really famous place in Japan. It's really scenic. It's very pretty. 3 of the groups in on it and Emily's not in on the situation. As it's supposed to be if like an engagement's happening. And we were like, hey, we should all wear nice clothes and go take pictures tomorrow. That's what normal people do when they're in Japan, right? Don't they just wear nice clothes for no reason? It was so hot that like no one wanted to wear anything nice. We all just like wore normal clothes. So we're waiting at the gate to take this picture. The main attraction on this lake besides this is that there's a boat that you can take across the water, and the weather was great so we could see Mount Fuji in the distance. So while we're sitting there waiting in line at this torii gate, there's like a 30 or 40 minute line. The boats are starting to close, and like the boats are the more exciting fun part, and Emily's basically like, why the fuck are we waiting in line for this torii gate? We should ditch this and go get on this sick boat and like go across the water. And we're like, no, we definitely need to wait and stay in line. It's gonna be really cool once we make it through. Trust me, it'll be totally worth it. And the funny thing is these stupid boats are going in the background. So there's this beautiful torii gate that's on the water, and then there's a paddle boat rental like 30 feet away. And so all the paddle boats do is they just like paddle boat over to the back of the lake. They get in the way of everybody's pictures. You know, they take their own pictures in the background, and their pictures have to suck because their pictures are just pictures of the gate with like tons of people in the background pissed at them. As we're watching these boats ruin people's pictures, Emily started getting pissed, and like the people in front of us and behind us started getting pissed. 5 or 6 people started yelling at the boaters and like flipping them off and cursing at them. There's a guy in front of us that was like Russian, screaming at this boat, and like the whole crowd was getting hyped. You know, it's like all foreigners, right? And the whole crowd is like, yeah, fuck these stupid boats, boo. Like everybody, the whole group together is getting pissed because what would happen is people would wait for them to get out of the way so they could take their picture. But then they were being assholes, staying behind people's pictures on purpose and like waving and like messing with people and stuff. So the people in these paddle boats are foreigners. People would ask them to move and then they would just like make faces. And it wasn't like everybody was causing like a huge scene. It's just more like every time the boats came by, people would just be like yelling at them to leave, and then they would eventually leave. It just led to a really funny moment because everybody in line was like all pissed about the stupid boats in the background, and then we did this and then everybody got hyped. And Hakone in general is really beautiful. It's like a really beautiful, nice place to be. And we got this done early in the trip, which meant that the whole trip was like super chill. And it was like a celebratory time the whole time. We bought so much shit. We had to buy a second luggage in Japan. We went sicko mode. Like we bought so much stuff. Oh, let me grab my coffee. If you guys want to know what it's like to be engaged, I got my muffin from the coffee I ordered. This is what it's like. To be fair, I also got part of the burrito. So it was an equal exchange. Look at us. I like this picture a lot. Really, really nice picture. I'm also a huge fan of this picture. Mostly just because the amount of immediate crying from the whole thing was really, really, really funny. You know, there's a lot of people who were like, I didn't even realize you were in a relationship. What the hell? You're getting engaged. That's kind of the point. We have a nice life outside of the video game stream. So we don't have to like tell everybody all the time always what's happening. Especially if you've ever been to an event, you probably saw us hanging out. I mean, it's like for the last forever. You can just see us at events. Like most people know. It's not like a secret or anything. We got to watch the Singapore tournament while we were there. We saw Nephew qualify, which is really cool. We were really happy about that. Slam champion goes and qualifies. This is awesome. We got engaged. We had a lovely little trip. We ate tons of good food. The very first thing we did on our trip, we went to DisneySea. I'm not like a Disney person, but like one of our group people was like, we got to go to Disney. That made me never want to go outside again. Every single thing there was packed. There was a 2-hour line for every ride. You know the rides that are not rides? Like the rides where you don't do anything? That had a 2-hour line. And you can't like get a fast pass and like buy a fast pass like it is here. You have to get there like 3 hours before it opens. Otherwise, it's over for you. Every single person in all of Japan was at DisneySea. And it was like 85 degrees and humid. Yeah, the Japanese Mickey. Dude, you're just on the train. He's like, onegaishimasu, ho ho. And you're like, what the fuck is happening? Dude, it's insane. That part was hype. I was like, what? And then Goofy just gets on there and Donald Duck. Dude, it really is Disney in parentheses Japan. But I promise that shit was sick. Very, very awesome. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Also would highly recommend if you're going to do something like this. Getting engaged at the start of a trip was like such a great idea. The trip was really fun. Imagine if she said no. If you don't know what they're gonna say, then I don't know if it's a good time to get married. Yeah, raw 50-50 proposal. You guys are just raw dogging it. You just walk up. Nice to meet you. Drop to one knee. Risking your whole life out here. Usually you like have a conversation even before it happens. The answer should not be a mystery. How it happens should be. Yeah, it should be like, you know you're gonna do it. It's just about the win. Learning Sajam has a fiance is like learning your substitute teacher has a life outside of school. It's like that, huh? Don't you just live behind that desk in that classroom? Like, you're not supposed to be outside of that. They also don't think you have legs. That's a common streamer thing also, is not having legs. When's the last time you saw Eris's lower body? He used to go outside all the time, but not so much anymore. You know, you can see me at fighting game tournaments many times, like all year long. Some streamers just don't leave their house. So you like never see, you see them like twice a year outside. My rule about working at home is like, I should go outside basically every day. And then second, I go everywhere. I don't know. I travel all over the place. That's my advice to all of you. You should just go outside, enjoy the outside at least once a day. It's good for your humanity. That's how I would describe it. What a boot. It's been a while since I've said that. There he is. This guy, dude, he is so happy we're back. It's insane. Anyway, trip was awesome. I got engaged. I had a lovely time. All the food was amazing. Nice to be home, but super sick trip.